Things used to be hard in America. To be the best, you had to work hard. And only the best achieved greatness. You wanted to be great because greatness won wars. The men who sprinted into gunfire on the beaches of Normandy were great. So were the ones who planted our flag on Iwo Jima, choked out communism in Korea, crawled through the jungles in Vietnam, and battled in the hot sands of the Middle East. Greatness was everywhere in America because greatness was rewarded. If you wanted to go to Harvard or Yale, you had to be at the top of your class. They demanded greatness from their students. If you wanted to walk the runway at fashion shows and have your face plastered on magazines and billboards, you had to be in tip-top shape, stunning enough to make somebody just stop in their tracks. If you wanted to run NASA, or IBM, or Exxon, you had to be the best in the business. They demanded greatness from their employees, and that demand formed generations of excellence. The weak were weeded out. The strong were rewarded with money and status and a sense of fulfillment. Our society doesn't have standards anymore. Everybody gets a trophy. You're not allowed to judge anybody. Nothing's taboo. The people we revered yesterday are despised today. Weakness is rewarded and strength is punished. We traded excellence and achievement for diversity and inclusion. It's happening all across the country. In New York, the NYPD is neutering the physical fitness test. They're taking away the timed run, so it's easier for women to join the force. Apparently, criminals they slow down if a female cop's chasing them. And in Connecticut, they're axing fitness requirements for female firefighters. They don't have to carry the same weight as men. In Delaware, they're making it easier to become a lawyer, lowering the passing score on the bar exam. They say it'll make the courtroom more diverse. Well, if you hate lawyers now, wait until they get dumber. Ivy League schools are lowering their standards, too. Columbia University is dropping the requirement to take the SAT or the ACT. Standardized testing's racist. Public schools across the country are failing their students. The lockdowns put kids way behind on math and reading, especially Black and Hispanic kids. They got hit the hardest. And instead of enriching the curriculum to snap back, they made school easier. They say math is racist and start teaching about feelings instead of numbers. Now, when an engineer designs a plane, I don't care how he feels. I don't want to fly on a plane designed by a touchy-feely guy. I like planes designed by math whizzes that haven't cried since childhood. Math is math. We don't need to feminize it. But Kamala Harris's husband, the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, he wants to feminize everything. He even wants to feminize masculinity.
Can we just talk about masculinity for a moment? Has being second gentleman changed your own view of perceived gender roles or what it means to be a man?
There's too much of toxicity. It's masculine toxicity out there, and we've kind of confused what it means to be a man, what it means to be masculine, where you've got this trope out there that you've got to be tough and, angry and lash out to be strong. It's just the opposite. Strength is how you show your love for people.
Dougie Fresh is more worried about toxic masculinity than toxic train wrecks. You know how you show masculinity? You protect your wife, who's getting ripped to shreds by everybody in Washington. And now we have a first. We have the first female vice president and the first second gentleman who won't stop talking about their feelings. Leadership's about action, but Dougie, not so fresh, wants to talk about his emotions. Kamala's husband kisses Joe Biden's wife and calls you toxic. And MSNBC sits there and pats Dougie on the head. You're such a good little boy. Wife swapping, apologizing, and sitting home all day. MSNBC's perfect man. The lower you go, the bigger the reward. Look at Biden's pick for FAA chief. Instead of nominating someone with a long resume of flight and safety experience to run the FAA, Joe picked Phil Washington, a guy who worked at a bus station up until a couple years ago. Phil was under a political corruption investigation for handing out pricey contracts to his buddies while he ran the LA Transit Authority, but now he's getting a promotion. And Phil doesn't know anything about airplanes, but he shatters.
Not sure I can answer that question right now. Sorry, Senator, I cannot answer that question. Thank you for the question, Senator. I'm not a pilot.
Can you tell me what causes an aircraft to spin or to stall?
Again, Senator, I'm not a pilot. I don't want to guess on that, Senator. Report
You know the
back to
three
this
types,
committee.
Mr. Washington? The three
No.
types? Okay.
No, I cannot
That's okay.
spell that out for you.
Okay. So in San Francisco, Denver, and Oregon, homeless people get paid by the government just for living on the street. You hit rock bottom, congratulations, here's a check. And if you're trans, you get twice the money. We're paying people to get high and not show up to work. Even the crackheads figured it out.
When you incentivize bad behavior, which they're doing, it's just going to create more bad behavior. And I'm an ex-crackhead, and I can figure that out.
And now New York City is paying BLM rioters that they locked up back in 2020. If you were pepper sprayed by a cop after smashing a window or looting Macy's, you can get 20 grand. It pays to be mostly peaceful. They want us to be mediocre. Not fit to be a cop? We'll hire you. Not smart enough to be a lawyer? No problem. Don't want to work at all? We'll pay you. They don't want excellence. They want mediocrity. You get punished for trying to raise the standards. If you make a lot of money, you're a capitalist pig. Buy a nice car and a big house for your family. Well, what's your carbon footprint? Get in shape? Stop making me feel bad about my body. This is what corporations want. The government hands you money, and then you hand it over to Big Sugar. Kellogg's and General Mills, you know, the guys that own just about all the cereal and junk food in the grocery store, they're threatening to sue the FDA because the FDA says Lucky Charms and Fruity Pebbles shouldn't be considered health food. Now, I love cereal and I love Lucky Charms, but it's a bowl of sugar. It's like eating candy for breakfast. Marshmallows aren't a part of a balanced breakfast. Kellogg's and General Mills say the FDA is violating their First Amendment rights. They should be able to say whatever they want about their cereal. Lucky Charms makes you smarter. Cookie Crisp cures cancer. Fruit Loops makes you taller. Greg's got 3 boxes. General Mills says their cereal is good for you, and the studies they funded prove it. Look at Fauci's food pyramid. Remember, a bowl of Lucky Charms is healthier than an egg. It's free speech, man. We can lie to kids for cash. This is America, right? Big Sugar's been doing this for years.
Hey, guys, can you turn it down? You know, I tried some of those Apple Jacks the other day. They didn't taste like apple.
That's the coolest part of all.
Why?
Dad, you don't get it, do you?
I guess I don't.
He's old. Kellogg's Applejack cereal is part of his complete breakfast. We eat what we like.
Part of a complete breakfast. Very small part. Big Cereal wants to keep pumping kids full of sugar and tell parents it's healthy. And if the FDA labeled it unhealthy, it'd probably wipe out 90% of the boxes in the cereal aisle. That's a big hit. So Big Sugar's going to fight hard. It's all about profits. These are the same people using child migrant labor to stuff Lucky Charms and Cheerios into cereal boxes in U.S. factories. Lucky Charms, made for kids by kids. And we reached out to General Mills. They told us they had no idea it was happening, but they're taking it very seriously and will investigate it. The same way they're investigating if marshmallows are a healthy breakfast. This is what happens when you lower your standards. They want us fat, dumb, and poor, waiting on the government for our next meal.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.